Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Michael Keene. For today's Sunday recap episode, we have special guest Michaela with us. So, Michaela, welcome to the show.
Hello. First of all, Jenny from the blockchain is just the gnarliest thing I've ever heard in my life. So,
oh my God, stop.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. And that intro got me pumped. Yeah, it's good to be here. Obviously, I've been following your journey for a long time. So it's nice to finally kind of chat on here.
Thank you. Yes. And we definitely want to get into your journey a bit. Actually, I don't know if our listeners know this, but when we record with guests, we always play the intro music where it's like, anyway, with like Gary Vee and everything, we always play that music. It helps get us ready to start the podcast, and then we just roll right into it. So
shout out to It's Just Los for the intro music as always.
Yes.
This is episode 90. Also
90.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Can't
Special.
believe it.
10 more till 100. Ooh.
Yep.
All right.
We got to do something special for 100. We got to start talking about that.
I know. Oh my God. We need to plan something, because if we don't, we're not going to do anything for it.
I know. We got to start planning now. Yeah, we got to do something really cool.
All right. I'll try to think of something good. We'll come up with some ideas. Is that going to
be around art? Oh no, that'll be about the end of October. That's when that's going to be.
Okay.
10 episodes. Yep.
That's around when I'm moving out of Oregon.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, back to NFTs here. So Michaela, who we have on as a special guest, she's been in the NFT space. Honestly, I remember seeing you around since I started. So like you've been around for a while. And so of course we got to bring you on the show. You even have your own NFT course, which I think is dope that you built out a whole course. I was just on a walk with my sister and I was like talking about that. I'm like, that is so cool. You don't often see people building out courses really trying to explain and educate people on Web3 and NFTs. So yeah, tell us a bit about that and also your NFT journey.
Yeah. I'll try to be super quick with it, but it's honestly feels like, I'm sure you feel this way too, but like NFT time is actually like different than real time. So it's like, even this weekly recap, it's like, I don't know, I feel like, oh yeah, back in the day, which was like last week. But a little thing about me is, I've started off actually in the space as an artist, and I didn't have two pennies to rub together, and a group of, strangers offered to pay for my gas fees, basically to upload my art. I didn't even know what it meant to be an artist at the time. I was in Canada, it was locked down, a very lonely situation. And then I started to basically make money from my art, which was crazy, like a huge experience. So if there's any artists listening out there, to this, which I'm sure there are, get started, because you really don't have anything to lose. You have a lot to gain. A lot of people upload their artwork on a website that costs like $50 to $100 to host. And it's like, you could just be uploading your work for free, as an NFT and meeting new people. So anyways, got in as an artist, and then started to invest into collectibles early on. So I invested into Bored Ape Yacht Club like a day after they minted, and the rest is kind of history in a way. The course is interesting though, because this time last year I made some like a 100-page ebook on NFTs and how to get into the space. But I was actually afraid to, because I was like in this bubble. I didn't realize how much I knew. I've been in this space now for like a year and a half. So I didn't realize how much I knew. And then a video of mine kind of went viral on TikTok of me like talking about, my $600 investment that I made into Bored Ape Yacht Club turning into 20K at the time. I was getting bits for 20K and I was like, what's going on here on TikTok? And then boom, 1 million views overnight. What is an NFT? What is going on? And I'm like, oh my God, I need to help people, because like in this space, you can like fail a lot if you're uneducated. So that's why education is very important to me. So now a year later, I worked on a new course, 7 months in production, 21 lessons, quizzes, videos, everything. And now I'm working on a new kind of free downloadable thing, which focuses more on marketing. So it's really exciting.
That is so awesome. And yeah, to see you just hit the ground running like that too. I do remember when we met, I was just thinking, I'm like, I swear, I remember we met in person
Miami.
before. Yeah, Miami at the Party Degens party. Man, that feels like so long ago. It's so crazy.
Right?
Oh my God. You're right. The concept of time in the NFT space is just wild. But wow, I actually didn't know that TikTok story. I didn't know you went like mega viral and like just a bunch of people were like, what are NFTs? And then you just kind of felt compelled to educate people because of that. Wow, that's very interesting.
It was like a duty, and I'm sure you have that also. It's kind of just like, okay, that how scary the space can be if you're uneducated. And this whole thing about decentralization being your own bank, you need to be educated on how to be your own bank more than ever, So, and a lot of people kind of go to one YouTube video or they look on TikTok, oh, this is pumping or this and that, which is like actually not to do. Please don't take financial advice from anybody on TikTok or these platforms. But yeah.
Good advice.
Putting it out there.
You have a really good pinned tweet that I read today that details a lot of your journey like that. So if people want to check it out and read kind of more into depth of what you were just talking about, because it is a really interesting story. And then, coming up with all this material, you said you're giving it out for free. Like, that's amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah, we'll link her Twitter, but it's Michaela, Michaela _NFT. If you guys want to look it up, definitely got to follow Michaela. She's been around for a while. She knows her stuff.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. You.
You came from the old Clubhouse days. I was on there too early last year, all through like the summer. I loved Clubhouse. I wish NFTs would go back there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like a different time. Like when I got in, it was January 2021. Yep. Like it just turned like 2021, which it's kind of like scary to think about now. And Clubhouse was like, there would be like famous people and like they would just be with their PFPs and like a random username. And you would have no idea that like, it's secretly this person or that person. And we would all just be on one level and everyone was talking about NFTs and art. And that's how I got in, because literally a bunch of strangers on the internet pretty much saved my life. Because like, I won't go into detail, but it is in that pinned tweet where, I was at the, worse, but it was actually a blessing in disguise. Because if I hadn't been in such a bad place, I wouldn't have met all of those strangers on the internet who were also sharing their story and teaching me. They literally taught me for free what is an NFT, what is MetaMask, what is this, what is that. And that's why Twitter, I guess, as we talk about like what's going on in the space, is now kind of like the hub for that. And I think a lot of people don't know that NFT crypto Twitter is like the hub of this whole thing, and we shift a lot. Like Clubhouse, I mean, it wasn't too long ago. Like if you think about it, it kind of died July of last year.
When Twitter Spaces came out.
It did. Yeah, it did. And we all kind of migrated. And I remember like the first Twitter Spaces was like Rug Radio, which we all kind of like way it felt like created as a community.
Did you know that Twitter offered Clubhouse like 4 billion or 5 billion or something? And they turned it down and Twitter was like, all right, we'll just go make our own.
Nah. Oh no. And we're seeing that happen, with just everything. I mean, all these apps at the end of the day, they're all competing for our attention. God, like every app is trying to be like TikTok. I mean, Twitter isn't.
They are trying to be like, I said that to my wife earlier today. Like they all have the TikTok now. Yep.
They all have the TikTok, and God, it is just crazy how everyone's just competing for our attention. And, projects are competing with our attention as well. All these founders, everybody's in huge competition with each other, how can we get the most attention? And that's why we see a lot of engagement farming, in the space today, is because everyone's just trying to steal someone else's attention.
Speaking of project attention, how about Doodles raising $54 million? What is it with $704 million valuation? That's insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, people were excited about it, but it was also kind of like, oh, this also means, a little less focus on, like a little less Web3-ish and a little less focus on community and a little more focus on just being a huge, big brand. And yeah, like having actual investors, which is, not exactly very Web3, but I think everybody always kind of knew that in order to be mainstream, there would have to be a nice mixture. Like it couldn't just be, solely Web3, related things. Like it would have to be like a medley. And I think everyone kind of knew that, but yeah, it's interesting to see.
Jenny,
they went up. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I was just saying, like, you bring up a lot of good points, and I have been thinking about that. So I'm happy that you brought it up, and maybe we can get into this nice little discussion on here about it. But yeah, I think that a lot of these projects, they start off really like degen, quote unquote, authentic, really sticking into the Web3 culture where they have that, the founders are anonymous or this and that. And then people kind of fall in love with them because they're like, oh, one of us. And then after they get, VC funding, and then it's like, well, they can't be one of us. They have to, go by the rules, so to speak. And then there's a huge divide because it's like a lot of people are like, well, we want that because we want serious founders and we want actual businesses, because a lot of these NFT projects fail because they don't know how to operate an actual quote unquote business or startup. And that's why we need more than ever. So whoever's listening to this, we need operation managers, we need project managers, we need everybody from Web 2 into Web 3 because it's literally the same thing. And I think we're in like Web 2.5 or so. And we need, like, I don't know, everyone thinks of like Web3 as this like, alien, but it's kind of just like, it's literally just Web 2, but we're moving into that direction and it's going to take time. Like Facebook didn't just come out, like Facebook came out, then there was Instagram, then there was Snapchat, but it had like our whole 10-year generation, like it didn't just happen right away. And that's happening with this. I think we're on our way in some ways, but I also think there's a big difference between what people want and what they say they want. And that's the big problem here. People say they want decentralization, but then when founders are anonymous and then they, rug or scam, they want centralization. Or
people want the price to go up.
They always want the price to go up.
People want the price to go up. I almost bought a Doodle when they made the announcement. It was at 7 ETH. Because I knew, like, I remembered when that last announcement came for Digidayaku or whatever, it like 10x'd, So
I think Doodles made its way up to like almost 9, and then it kind of fell back down to that.
It did, but it's back up to 8.8 now.
Oh, is it? Let's go.
Yeah, it went up. It went up today. It went up 15% today alone.
It's interesting. I think though that announcement with Doodles happened a while ago though. And then
they did announce a raise a while ago, but I don't think the details were out there. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I did see that though, where it was like, oh, they had been
Tropo Farmer tweeted that it had
right. I saw
like this is old news from June, he said. But I don't think it was.
I guess it wasn't finalized. Like,
right?
Maybe it wasn't.
We are our own worst enemies, the Web3 community, because we have companies like Starbucks, right? And they announced, this is kind of like weekly news, but they announced the rewards program, and I think that that's so cool. Like, let's go. I mean, what's more mainstream than Starbucks?
Really?
Starbucks, come on here with the $8 pumpkin spice latte. This is no promo. God, it's good. But it's like, but then all over my Twitter, I don't know about you guys, but why are they doing this? Be more innovative. It's like, if we're not even accepting of it, then how do we expect other people to be accepted? So it's like I get so confused with the Twitter stuff. But what do you guys think about the Starbucks rewards program?
One thing that I think about personally, when I think about it, like overarching, is they actually chose a really good team to help them with Adam Brotman, Bunchu, like people that are actually NFT people to advise them on it. Yeah, so I mean they're using Polygon, and it seems like they're gonna do it, the quote unquote right way, because they really did pick like a real NFT native team, people that are legit in the space. So
I love that.
Yep. And we've always talked about, Jennifer and I have always talked about, consumerism and NFTs. That's how you're going to bring in millions and millions of people, by selling NFTs that are consumer NFTs, not necessarily collectibles, but it's a product, and people are, yep.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I mean, they haven't launched yet, right? So what they just did the announcement with the wait list, and I definitely signed up. I hope
I did too.
Hope you all did, and I think
I totally didn't. I'm like, I don't know. I never drink Starbucks.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee, so I'm not gonna go. But
I'd like to make my own coffee at home, and now I'm getting into matcha tea. So like,
we love that. We love that.
I can't spend $8 on a pumpkin spice latte. I just can't bring myself to doing that.
No, I totally feel that. It's actually funny because for a couple of months, I was off the Starbucks grind, or off it, I'm off the Starbucks.
You're addicted.
I just was, in my own place, and like I wasn't meeting anybody. So sad. I was just, making coffee at home. I love doing that. I need it like right away. Anyway, but I did sign up for the wait list, and I am excited about it just because it is more mainstream adoption. And, as an educator or, someone that really like, I love teaching people, like I need to know the experience. I need to know how it happens. And like, sometimes that results in also me, making investments or trying out something and failing. Right. Because it's kind of like, I want to fail so that you don't have to type of thing, or fail a little bit less, that like could at least help make people, make better educated decisions.
People can learn by your example. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You'll have to let us know how that goes, or you'll have to let me know, because
I will.
I'll be out of the loop with it. But
yeah, I signed up for it. I'll go in and maybe get a lemonade or something.
Okay. Yeah.
I just want to see what the process is like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we'll learn how they do it. Yeah.
Polygon, they are just killing it in the sense that they are sponsoring. It's like every single day it's Polygon partnered with, your mom, and you're like, wow, that is just insane. How did you get there? Right. Polygon sponsored every like NFT NYC event. Their name is just everywhere.
They were at the Bored Ape, even the Bored Ape party, there was a Polygon drink. Like, did you notice that?
Wow. No.
Yeah, it was like a Polygon drink. I was like, what was Polygon doing here?
Very interesting. Yeah, Polygon did Dolce and Gabbana. I'm pretty sure they did Nickelodeon. And I guess now they're doing Starbucks. So it's like literally every big brand. Did they do Tiffany and Co? I
thought that was ETH. Did they? Or I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe they did.
I have to check, but it's very interesting. And then so first I was like, before all these big partnerships were announced, I'm like, why is everyone partnering up with Polygon? And I think they're just like they're making it easy for these big brands, and they're just like
they're also on Disney's accelerator program.
Oh yeah, okay, interesting. There you go. You learn something. That's another great thing about this space is that you literally learn something new every day, and like you never know so much. And I think that's why I love. Like I haven't, this is the thing that I've done for the longest period of time because it just encompasses everything. My background is in film. This encompasses, but I love art and I love music and then this has music, art, photography, degeneracy, but like literally everything that you could think of, and you're always learning something new. And it's like, even the people that are really high up there, like educators or people that I really look up to, they are constantly learning. And it just like makes you really excited that you can never kind of be stale in a space like this. Like you're always kind of just, learning, which is really fun.
So it's all brand new. I mean, we're all learning as we go for sure. Even like the founders and people creating projects, and they're building new things that haven't been built before. You're exactly right. It's a good point.
Today's episode is sponsored by Swoops, a daily fantasy sports game where every player in the game is a one-of-one Swoops player that is owned and operated by a Swoops user. As a user, you play the literal role of owner, general manager, and coach for your team and players. Their public mint is on September 22nd. If you're on the waitlist, the mint is on September 21st, and they'll be minting at 0.05 ETH with a supply of 1,500.
Yeah, this is actually really cool because we've talked a lot recently about some daily fantasy games and how they're integrating into sports with the blockchain. And this is kind of something really new where these your players are going to be robots. Like you said, there's only going to be 1,500 of them. You create your team, you play in the games they're going to have to offer. They're probably going to have all kinds of different games, one-on-one tournaments, just like some of these other things we used to play. And these are going to be able to be played every day. You only need to have one player, and then they have, a free agent pool you can pick from. But if you want to get more players, you might have better players. You can train your players. They can get better over time. There's a lot of really cool stuff to like about this. I'm going to check it out myself. I mean, it's backed by a bunch of really important sounding VC companies and also a couple people we might have heard of. Gary V is an investor. I know Gary V is an investor. Jason Robbins, who's DraftKings CEO, and multiple NBA ownership groups are investing in this. Get in early. These are going to be, your early players, your best players. The price is 0.5. So you can get in with one. If you want to buy a whole team, I guess it's about a quarter ETH. And it seems really exciting to me.
Yeah. It sounds fun. And I like the fact that you could potentially win money. Like if you win these tournaments and contests, which is always fun. And if you're interested in checking out Swoops, you could go to playswoops.com. Also, you can click the link in our show notes and it'll take you directly to the website.
SWOOPS.
Frank Degods. What happened with Utes? What happened with Utes? Anyone know?
No, honestly, he did. That whole team is really great because they did phenomenal marketing. I really have to handle to that team. They do phenomenal marketing. They created the youth scholarship, I guess, for those that are listening, where you had to apply basically to be on their quote unquote white list, their allow list. And they had everybody in the industry applying. I applied, lengthy reply on why I wanted to be a part of their community. That was the first time that you ever saw anybody, applying like that. The old kind of allow list craziness kind of went away in the sense of nobody was like, the old grind was like, okay, Discord, follow this or do that. But they were like, nope, we're going to do something new. And then they created a bot to announce whoever got Ute listed, right? On the allow list with all these, people in the industry. But it started off just like community members. And then you had big names like Allen Iverson, Lil Baby, even me, when I got on the list, I was like, wow, this is so great. And a bunch of people congratulating you, saying, welcome to the community. So that was insane marketing. It was really interesting. And it was on Solana. This was everybody's a lot of people's first Solana NFT. And it's like, I've been in the Solana ecosystem. Like last year, I have tweets saying, what is Solana? It took me a year though, to really feel like, oh, I'm a part of a community. I feel like this was my first Solana NFT, which is a big deal for a lot of people. You had famous TikTokers being on this. It got the attention of so many people. So I have to hand it to the team. Now, what happened? Okay, so this week, it's funny. It's only been a week that Frank kind of went I thought
it was he went MIA.
It was 8 days.
Yeah. 8 days. It was 8 days. And that 8 days felt like 80 years for the space. What's going on? But I think that's, in my opinion, another one of their potential marketing plays, which again, gotta hand it to them. They didn't go completely ghost where they, people were worried about them scamming or something like that. They just were talking in their Discord. So the holders only chat, they were doing VCs a couple of times in the week. And then he wrote, so to talk about the news of this week, he wrote basically this journal entry, Frank is typing on Friday. He released it Friday night. And he tweeted, hey, and it got like 5K, like probably even more. You know what I mean?
It did get more. Yeah.
And I'm just like, how many likes is on that tweet? That's insane. He is getting the most engagement that I've ever seen, like in a long time. Not I've ever seen, but in a long time in this space. He's like one of the most liked founders, because all the other founders now are kind of like, okay, we're worth $4 billion and we're busy. But they do answer. Like, I gotta hand it to the Bored Ape Yacht Club team. Like, Gordon is a gem. Like, whenever there's like something like going on in the community, he's always like answering people and doing great stuff. But it's like, back in the day, they used to be talking in the Discord 24/7. You would get that kind of like connection with the founders. And then we kind of lost that. Like, we had none of that. No other founders were connecting. And then Frank kind of came along. I mean, he's been along for a long time, but, during Utes, especially, just making that connection where you had that, like, one of us type of feeling. But he wrote a journal entry, and that blew me away, because I hope that more founders kind of get into this like meta of just being open the way that he is. I think it's great.
So you're you minted, I presume?
I did mint. Well, like I said, I like to experiment. So I did make the Utes list. That was really cool, but I just wanted to see what was going on, It was interesting because you had to mint in Dust, which is their native token. And if you held their first collection, the Degods. Oh my god, I always butcher the name. Please, anyone who's listening, Degods.
I think they Degods, right? Isn't that's what I hear? I think people saying
potato, Degods, Degods, whatever.
It's honestly been so long. Oh god. Anyway, so if you had their first collection, you were able to stake it, and then you would make Dust. And then so essentially Utes was like, a free thing for the holders, which is always great to kind of get those rewards and that value. And Dust Labs, we can even talk about that after, raised like 7 million or so, which is interesting. Anyhow, so Utes was kind of like their reward. Utes, the night of on Monday night, they were supposed to launch on Sunday. It launched on Monday, and it was going for right away. I saw some sales for 195 Solana. And they did this interesting thing where you couldn't sell until an hour later. And this is why I put myself on these lists, not put myself, but like, get myself or try to mint and stuff like that, because I want to see what's going on. You know what I mean? I want to see like what's happening. This is so interesting. You have for the Degods collection, the 33% like tax. If you list under floor, like all these little things, and you're just like, you won't know unless you're kind of like doing. So anyhow, I minted Utes. I was having a lot of trouble. They did have technical difficulties for the first like hour and a half or so. You couldn't list for your NFT for sale for the first hour. So that was another interesting thing. I hadn't really seen that before ever. Which was cool, but mine didn't work for a while. So yeah, they were going for like 195 Sol, and then they settled for about 130. And then they were playing to like 145 Solana for like 2 days. And now I'm not even sure where they're at. I didn't check.
They're 125. I'm looking at it right now.
125, yeah.
Which is how much in USD? What's the
I think it's $31 for Sol right now. Okay. So
I never know the price of Sol.
Same. I always, even with ETH, I always check the ETH to Sol just on Google real quick. But at the time, Solana was also pumping. We had a big pump in that time. And then that collection made everything on Solana pump. You had a bunch of, including me, people just, I was doing like .sol domains. I was doing everything. Because you know what, Solana, people hate on Solana, and don't get me, like, I'm not in anything maxi. I'm a Web3 maxi.
Yeah.
You know? So anything that's coming my way, I really don't get this whole ETH versus Sol thing. It's the weirdest thing ever. It's like, why? Solana is great. I mean, Solana, they keep their thing is that they want to keep transaction fees under a penny. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, of course great. It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Why are we hating on that? There could be more than one blockchain. Like, let's go. I don't get it. Yes,
there's going to be tons of blockchains. There's going to be tons of
blockchains. It's newer, but it has some people from Ethereum kind of working on it. The merge went well for Ethereum, and that's exciting. So hopefully the transaction fees will be a little bit lower. I feel like still nobody really understands what's happening with the merge. It's like I like to pretend that I really know what's going on. And
Right.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, like a lot of Twitter spaces, not podcasts. I don't think anybody really knows and like yet now, what's going on. But I do know that it's good.
It went well. I think from
That it
what
went-
I understand, it's not going to affect the transaction fees or the speed. From what I understand,
It's not going to affect the speed. It is going to affect. It's going to make it more green.
Right.
And which is nice. And it's
very nice.
Not so great for the miners. But whatever.
Yeah. Well, they did pretty well over the last year and a half.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's cool. I kind of have I just want to see like what actually is going to happen, because I know the process takes 4 days, and this happened. Maybe tomorrow will be like the 4th day. I think this happened Thursday or Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. We need, and the price crashed. It went down like 25%.
Yeah. What the heck?
It's under 1350.
No, that's max pain. I'll be honest, because I had this little thing in my head that ETH was going to 10K right after the merge.
Oh wow!
Right after the merge, I feel like everybody thought that. Like, when was everyone? Oh, I remember it was before December. We were like,
we made a bet, right? Yeah.
And I was like, ETH is going to 10K, and like, I don't know. I
didn't
that
did
did not happen
before the merge. I really was hopeful that something was going to happen and it was going to like go up. So I didn't touch it, which is not doing well for me right now. I'll be honest. This is definitely not financial advice, because it sounds bad.
It's rough. Yeah, we were at 2,000 just a few weeks ago. I was like, all right, coming back. Yeah.
I know. I don't understand, because there's all these huge companies. You got there's this graph I love and that I post often on my Instagram, is this graph with like all the big companies that have invested in blockchain companies. So you have like Samsung with Yuga Labs and this and that. And it's like, it really sucks, because like to the world, they're saying like, it kind of looks like they're looking down upon crypto, but it's like, they're all investors into crypto. So it's like,
yeah, they're not stopping coming in. That's for sure.
I mean, they're huge investors. Let me see if I could like pull it up like as we talk, so to not disturb the flow, but it's really interesting to see. And you're like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, obviously, so I definitely think it won't be this low forever. Again, not financial advice, but just kind of in general, forget about investing into crypto. And look, I'm more on the NFT side, like obviously you need to understand cryptocurrency and the phases of money and how we got to crypto and what the blockchain does and what it is, of course, to navigate properly in the NFT space, which I think is the number one thing that people are actually missing when they get into NFTs. But you don't need to, there's trading crypto and there's also like trading NFT. Like there's so much, it's such a big industry that like, you have experts in trading crypto, and then you have like experts in flipping NFTs in the NFT space. And it's like, so for me, crypto, I love the technology. And I get paid in services in crypto because I believe in it and this and that. But it's like, I'm not someone that trades crypto. You know what I mean? I'm more in focus, NFT focus. And I think there's like a big difference between the two. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, here we go. So
trading is hard. Trading is
Samsung is invested in Yuga Labs, Animoca Brands, so many. PayPal is invested in all these. Microsoft is invested in Consensus. Consensus is MetaMask, very interesting.
Yeah, they're all coming in. They're probably powers that be keeping the price low of ETH just to, get
something's
as much as
going
they
on.
can. Right.
Going on.
Yeah.
So
I'm of the mind. I think one day ETH will flip Bitcoin. I think one day.
Oh shoot! Wait, so is that bearish for Bitcoin or is that bullish for?
No,
ETH?
I think it's going to be like there's going to be a time where they're just going to be racing toward each other. I don't know. I have a vision.
Oh,
I
It's
agree.
a couple of years away.
Is that when they were like Bored Apes are going to flip punks, but then Bored Apes were only going for like 4 ETH?
Right. And people were like, no, it's impossible. That's the exact parallel. that's in my head. I'm like, if that could happen, like that's how it'll happen. Like it'll just people will realize.
ETH has major utility.
ETH has major utility. I do worry a little bit that I don't think that ETH can really be the commercial blockchain. Like, Polygon is obviously ETH too, just because gas will get so high. Whenever we do really well, gas goes up to $50, $100 a transaction.
Crazy.
Right? Wouldn't that happen again if there's millions and millions and millions of transactions?
Even Vitalik was saying, like, ETH is not built for NFTs, right? To be, that he's even hoping for more layer 2 solutions, because it's like, it is a little crazy, because especially if you're someone just getting in, it's like, imagine spending hundreds on a transaction fee.
I know.
I mean, the companies aren't choosing ETH; they're choosing, Ticketmaster chose Flow, and all these other ones are choosing Polygon, like we said. I guess is Polygon technically? I mean, it's a layer 2 ETH solution, so it's basically, it's not. It's on the Matic blockchain or whatever. It's on the Polygon blockchain, so it's not on the Ethereum mainnet.
It's crazy the type of like gas wars we used to have last.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh God, I remember speeding up my gas, $800 to mint something. I knew that I'd be able to flip it for.
Right, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. I'm like, I know that if and that's the thing also, like, this is back in the day, not today, back in the day, this time last year, which is just crazy to me that it's like, I knew that if I was going to spend $800 plus in gas, 800 to 1,000, I knew I would flip it for a couple of K and within seconds, literally seconds. And you just had to have that, how do I politely say, but you know what I mean? That, the balls,
the chutzpah,
the chutzpah. There you go. Yeah, the chutzpah. To press that and which is just, it's just crazy. And now this kind of, we're not having any of that. Yeah,
we're not having. Yeah, gas is $6. It used to be any time that art blocks would drop or anything like that. Yeah, it would go crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, pretty much the end of it was Other Side, and there was like 150 million US burnt in gas for that drop.
Yeah, I mean, the whole gas fee thing, it kind of actually, again, this time last year when we're seeing like those crazy gas fees, Oniforce came out with this was like in August, and Oniforce came out with the whole whitelist meta, which was very interesting. And they were like the first to do it. I'm pretty sure they were the first to do the whitelist spots. I had never seen it before. 90% sure. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be one person be like, Michaela, there was someone before. Okay, chill. They were like first, like just how like, okay, like, CryptoPunks were like the first gen project, but then there's like Bored Ape Yacos. Okay, anyways, don't attack me right now. So
first popular one.
They were the first popular one, but I'm pretty sure though they were like the first legit one. Anyway, so they launched that, and then that was really saving like the gas wars. And then you saw that with like Doodles, and then you got into the whole like crazy whitelist meta of like, jumping through hoops and doing handstands, which is crazy. And then the Other Side with 3 ETH. I got lucky with the Other Side mint. I'm not gonna lie. I'm one of the very few people, because I
mega coda or something.
I got a coda. I did. I prayed to the gods. I was begging on my knees. I was summoning codas. Actually, whatever. It's too long of a story for now, but in person, when I see you guys, I will say the story. But it was a very interesting thing, because at the beginning, for the Other Side drop, they said that you were going to have 24 spots. Or that was a big rumor that everyone thought we were going to be able to mint 24 plots, right? So I was like, and then we were guesstimating the price of ApeCoin on how much it was going to be, rumors, all this stuff that always happens when there's like a Yuga drop. And I thought it was going to be 24 spots. Now, I didn't have enough money for 24 spots of whatever the price that I thought it was going to be, but I had enough for like a couple, and I offered it to somebody, a big business contact. And then 3 days prior, and we were spending like all week talking about, the spots and this and that. And I was like, wow, I'm really doing something here. Like, good. It's going to be great. Then they announce, boom, it's only 2 spots. And I'm like, oh no, because I split one of my Yuga assets with a partner of mine. And then I was going to give the other one to, the business person that I don't want to disappoint. And then anyways, I land up giving them the spot. Then they see how bad the drop is going, whatever. They're like, you know what? I don't want the other spot. And then I land up, so they do mint a spot, but everybody gets one. So I get my own, everyone gets their own, whatever. And then they were saying that, oh, the land that has the lowest number is the land that's more, it's worth more. So I was like, here, I'll give you the one with the lower number. There was 06 and 07. This was pre-reveal, and they were going for 10 Ethereum pre-reveal, which is just mad, absolutely mad. But yeah, or not 10 Ethereum. Yeah, something like 10 grand. Anyways, so I lined up giving them what I thought that they wanted. The reveal happens. A friend calls me. They're like, Michaela, no way. I'm like, what? Like, didn't think I had anything. It's 5 a.m. I'm in, the Middle East at this time. And they're like, you got a coda. I'm like, shut up. Mine had the coda. So honestly, go with good intentions. That's the lesson here. Do the right thing and you'll be rewarded.
Anyway. Were they like, yo, what the heck? You gypped me, like.
So, they knew that I couldn't have, because it was pre-reveal. I couldn't have done anything malicious. I really, really couldn't have, even if I wanted to or tried. None of the metadata was leaked in this type of situation. And I'd like to think of myself as smart, but I'm not that smart. I really can't figure it out in that way. And I'll be honest, if I could figure that out, then I would have, bought a couple of more mega, crazy codas and flipped them all if I could do that. So no, I had no idea. I was completely shocked. It was actually 5 a.m. at the time for me when all these reveals were happening. I thought I was delusional from no sleep. I was like, there's no way. And I could have sold it actually in the hype for 30 ETH.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's this is going to be crazy. I did sell it for 22 Ethereum. I did.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah. So I do sell things, because at the end of the day, this is my industry. So there's this whole weird thing with people that selling, but it does get complicated when you have a platform. Sometimes I forget, or not anymore, but before I was this time last year, I was, sleeping on a mattress and I was flipping NFTs,
right, buying and selling
my money, buying and selling, because that's what everybody around me was doing. And that was the okay thing to do. And then kind of, I guess, as I grew in the space, or people around me grew as well. It was wait a minute, you can't buy something, post about it, or talk about it and then sell it. And then I'm like, oh my God, right. You actually can't, that's actually terrible. Oh my God, no, if I can't do that, I don't do that anymore. When I did, it was more we were all friends. We'd be like, oh, yo, what are we buying today? And I have any type of following or anything, it was just friends, right? Talking to each other. And that's how I was making kind of a living, but I was learning. So now it's more I'll make investments if I, it's more like investment, where I'm okay, do I like this project? Is this good? And I don't talk about things. I'm honestly afraid. I don't
talk about a lot of projects either. Not that I have a giant platform, but for that reason, I used to all the projects I like, but I do like to buy and sell stuff. Did you watch Izu go down? Are you fans of Voltura, Psychedelics Anonymous?
So I'm not a holder of Psychedelics Anonymous, and I've always heard their name, and I've seen Vultura around on the Twitterverse. But I did see Izu go down. I saw everything go down. I saw the whitelist go down. I saw the NFTs unfortunately go down. I think the concept was cool. What was happening was
unfortunately,
I mean, look, I don't.
No, I know what you mean.
I don't like when projects fail. I mean, obviously, if the person is bad, which I don't know, this person, but in then okay, yeah, it fails. But honestly, unfortunately, it doesn't happen where it's it happens that people that are actually not the best, their projects actually succeed, or it's trash or something. And I'm just what's going on? So that's a big issue that we need to look at ourselves, as to why that's happening. But anyways, yeah, we could talk about Izu. But I thought the concept was cool. What was it, like where to earn?
That is what it is. And they're using that like NFC technology. They're going to partner with brands and like basically like say Nike. And if you wear your Nike jersey to certain baseball game, you get credit for that. That's kind of what the concept is. Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. It's futuristic. I bought one when they announced they were going to airdrop a second one to everybody because they cut their mint in half and because it just wasn't going well, it stalled. And I bought one and then I got airdropped the second one. And when they revealed the other day, I got one of the 101s, one of the 20.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing. It's not like earth shattering. I have it.
Let's see it. Put it in the chat. I want to see.
I can't put it in this chat because it's not on my laptop.
Okay, never mind.
I mean, it's interesting that it didn't do that well because honestly, it's a cool concept. Like, I mean, that has more utility. Like, again, I'm not affiliated with this project and I don't know it. And obviously, do your own research to anyone that's listening. Like, I do know it, but I'm not. I didn't do my own research there. But from what it sounds like, it's kind of like, I mean, that has more utility than the other BS projects I see in,
It does. No, I like Voltour. We had him on. I mean, I think I do hold Psychedelics Anonymous, and I think that he's going to figure it out. I'm going to sell the 101 because, the wins haven't been as frequent recently as they used to be. So I'm going to take it when I can. The floor was 7 ETH on the 101s. And then I put it at like 6.5. It didn't sell. Somebody put it at 5. I'm sitting at 4.2.
Oh, so shoot. Undercutting more.
I know. Because I want to sell it. I want to sell it.
Yeah, you know what? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to get I was actually, honestly, when I first saw it, I was thinking of what I could flip it into. I was thinking maybe get lucky, get a Moonbird or something but it's not selling at 4.2 right now. So somebody sold one at 3.75 the first night.
So only one has sold.
Only one has sold post reveal. Okay. Somebody sold a 101 for 0.2.
I mean,
and for 0.2 and for 0.09 pre-reveal because they didn't know.
Yours looks sick. I see it on Twitter. You tweeted it out.
I see. Yeah.
The artwork is
it's a cool one. It is.
I'm starting to see more and more that it's kind of like sell the hype, which isn't
always right.
And I saw that with Other Side because there was never I didn't see it like that with a big Yuga project. I didn't think that that it would get like that, but I did need to sell it because again, this is like what I do for a living. So
it's a brilliant move. I mean, for sure.
It's a move. But
there's nothing wrong.
When something's worth something that amount of money, like if it was selling that day for that amount, it's like, oof, that's a lot of money. That's around today, and crypto's down. It's just like 5K or so. But before, I mean, it's a lot to make. From
I told Jennifer last week, my cousin was ragging on me really hard for not selling the Bored Ape when it was like 450,000.
Oh, but you can't. No, you can't.
Not that. What do I have to tell him? Tell me what I need to tell him. Look, Jeff.
Michaela, tell him what's up. Tell him what's up.
Look, Jeff.
Can I put you in touch with my cousin?
This is an artifact here, okay? Right. This is, first of all, it's on, maybe the merge might not change much so we think right now, but this was now on the old Ethereum, which is very interesting, and also it is the first of its kind, and everybody in the whole industry copied Bored Ape Yacht Club's whole method, and this is all people see all over the world today is apes. Everybody has seen those apes, and that's mind-boggling. Around the world, around the globe. I think that, we're just in a tough time right now because of the recession and other external factors that we can't really handle. But, there's a lot of things coming for Yuga Labs. I think they're going to do that Miami, Soho House type of thing that's still on the roadmap. Pretty sure. And, there's stuff to come that I think is really you have also huge people that took interest in this. I mean, you have Eminem and Snoop Dogg and like all of these people, like Madonna, like everyone, like even changed it to their profile picture. Like everyone was in on this with community members, stuff like that. Yes, you also couldn't have known. You couldn't have known at 450,000 that like it was.
I know. I thought it was going to 1 million. That's what I was telling my kids. I was like, you guys will sell this thing one day.
It did. And you know what? I think I'll sell for $1 million one day. Definitely. If you're thinking about your kids, like I definitely do. Because I mean, like if Bitcoin was worth whatever it was, like a penny at the time, and now it's worth, hey, it is down right now, but it had like, it was at like 50K or so over time. I definitely think like this is more than just like crypto. It's a whole like movement. It's a whole community. It's a whole everything. They're literally OGs in the space, and like there's nothing that anyone could do to like take away from that. You know.
You think Bored Apes will end up higher than punks eventually? I mean, they are now, but you think they'll stay that way? You think Bored Apes will
be higher than punks?
Yeah, I mean they are now, but do you think that'll like how it ends up?
I mean, yep. Well, I mean, like Bored Apes,
such a different thing, right? It's such a different thing.
Supreme, like it's like a hype thing. Like it's like every like you know you have you're seeing like Bored Apes on now like that beer Happy Dad with all of those that whole audience. You know, like I don't know. You just see it like it's just like a hype, like crazy hype thing. And like in a way for someone like me, obviously I'm not biased because like I've been like mad before when things happen. But in a way can be biased because when they came out, you know, I invested in it when it was like quote unquote worthless and it was just a photo. But what it did for the whole space and for me, it changed my life because it gave us an entry to act like kids again.
Yeah.
Like we were all just going into rooms late at night during the lockdown when we were all like really suffering, making monkey sounds and connecting together and like making art and selling our derivatives, you know, Mona Lisa ape or, you know, this ape, that ape. And it changed a lot of people's lives and also gave a lot of people financial freedom, including me. And it's like,
me too.
A movement. Yep. It's a movement and they've given so much to their original holders or even up until this time, each mark that they launch something, I guess other side, like not, you know, that's been a big issue, but I don't think that it's completely down the tubes. I really don't. I think like they've released no information about it yet. And there's still so much more to happen. So, you know, I think we haven't seen the last of that. And that I hope that everybody makes a good return on their investment. Yeah. You know, whether it's
I love your enthusiasm. You got me pumped for it.
Well, it's because I've seen it also grow and see what it can do and like what they've done. And also like, I think that I've profited not only like monetary, but through the people that I've met, you know, and that's like a big thing with NFTs is that it's changed my whole network. And I've seen it change a lot of people's networks. Like, you know, people are able to get in contact with, you know, so-and-so and so-and-so. And it's like, whoa. So like, if you utilize this asset, like there's more ways to utilize like NFTs than just kind of what, you know, flipping them and stuff like that. You know,
great points.
All right. So we are coming close to our 1 hour mark. I guess we should just rip through the rest of the topics we have written down, Michael.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
So, Cool Cats is up 41% to 2.8. It went under 2 ETH last week and a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I don't know what's coming, if there's a rumor or if it's just kind of everyone decided to stop selling, but Cool Cats is doing well. We've always been fans of Cool Cats. Andy, Jennifer, and I all have Cool Cats.
Oh, that's good. Yes, I see the Cool Cat there now in Jennifer's room.
Her bearded.
You know, the Cool Cats did a great event at NFT NYC. I attended. They had this really cute thing where you had the bracelet and you could like, you know, get the points and you can get merch with the points. Like
that was so fun.
That was awesome.
So that was fun, and it's like a very family friendly brand. You know, let's see. I mean, it pains me that it had an all-time high and it went so low. I mean, it pains me though with a lot of collections, you know.
Most collections. We talked about Oni Force that shot up to 7 or 8 ETH, and it's down to a quarter ETH. Yeah.
I literally was looking at, I was trying to find like this Doodles video that I had tweeted out a while ago. And I stumbled across my post where I was saying, oh my God, my Doodle and my Cool Cat have the same floor price right now, 11 ETH. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how far Cool Cats have fallen. Like 11 ETH. That was definitely the all-time high.
Doodles at one point flipped the mutants at like 23, if you remember that.
Yeah, Doodles was up there. But the thing about Cool Cats is that, they had there was problems with, I think, like the founding team in a way, like there was like a falling out or somebody stepped down and stuff like that. So I think when things like that happen, it really hurts. It really, really hurts the project, So I hope that it recovers and like it could bring kind of like a new energy,
the cool thing about
people are like, hey, like I want to join this community, because I feel like now it's like, they were looked at as like a huge blue chip, Cool Cats and Doodles, and that we know the whole family, right? The whole like cartoon JPEG family. There was like all these JPEGs, but it's like, what, and then it could be into a conversation of our next time we talk, but it's like, what makes a blue chip, like how, like, why are they at that price? Like, what is this inflation? Why are they worth that money? What's going on,
Yeah. And that's one of the cool things about NFT projects is they will never die. Like somebody could take them over in 10 years.
Like the Pudgy Penguins.
It's still there.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, like the Pudgy Penguins, that's a crazy takeover, like that, this time last year, again, like the Pudgy Penguins, they were like $50. I faded them, those cute little freaking things. And they were like $50. Boom. They shot up. They had a bad situation with their founding team. Luca came in, swooped it, recovered it, and the community stayed strong throughout this whole time. And now you can license, I think, your Pudgy into like Walmart for toys, which is great. And they're seeing like a steady floor throughout this whole bear market. I think a steady floor of like 2 to 3 ETH, which is just insane.
Yeah, that project has done really well.
It's not
Speaking of projects being taken over, another one on my list. Do you guys know the Super Shiba Club? Do you remember Susie she was on Clubhouse back in the day. This was like a Clubhouse project.
The name sounds so familiar, but it's like, what, I don't know what's happening with
for sure. So basically, I think she had a falling out with like the development team. The project just kind of went stale. But this past week, Brian Brinkman and this other guy, Shoke.eth, partnered up with Susie. They bought the smart contract and they're going to try and resurrect the project.
Okay.
Actually, I happen to have one. I looked at my wallet. I was like, still have one.
Good. Well, I hope for you that it does recover and it goes,
goes
back
insane.
More than ever.
Yeah.
It goes insane. Goes crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, it's like, we've talked about that before too. Like any of these old projects that people just give up on because there's thousands of them. You can buy the smart card. Anybody can, try and resurrect a project that you're a fan of. You have a built-in community. You don't have to go and sell something out because it's already sold out. You don't have to worry about that. And you're kind of at that point, anything you provide is value rather than after people pay you, you make $3 million. Then you're under the gun. Everybody wants you to, what's next? What's next?
Yeah, it's like that, a lot of people are like, Michaela, why haven't you launched a project? I'm like, I want to I already can't breathe just by keeping up. And it's like, first of all, I'll never launch something without there being some meaning or why am I using this technology for this situation? But it's like, people don't get that it's like, you can make money, but
it's like, forever.
It's pressure too.
It's forever. It's literally forever.
It's forever. So you better do it right. Yeah.
You better do it right. And you better make sure that you love it.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
A lot of people jumped in for the money because it was easy and it was there and you could sell out 10,000 pieces relatively easily for that whole time period last summer into the fall. There was a lot of people and they're probably regretting it. Like, now I'm kind of, like, because sometimes there's people that'll post and they'll be like, well, what about this project that you put out? Like people like something that's not even related. What else do we have on here? Are you familiar with the Ranga Black Box, the Art of Seasons, that whole ecosystem.
Yeah,
They've
the
been
Ranga is very
crushing it.
interesting. On Friday, had a is at what, like 1.89 or so
Yep.
at one point. I faded it. I actually left the house for the first time. So.
Nice.
Well,
Starbucks coffee date.
Starbucks coffee date. Yeah. Exactly. Sorry, I was just thinking about my dating life for a second and how like it goes nowhere because everyone just wants like the alpha, and not me. So anyway,
They want to know what to buy. What's the next 10x?
No. I mean, you know very well that it doesn't even, God, it doesn't even go like that. It's really scary these days because it goes like very high for the first day and then it's just like kind of like nothing the next day. So that's why you don't want to buy the hype. You want to either you want to either invest like a startup company, which is kind of like what I was saying earlier, literally like a startup company. Who are the founders? What problem are they solving? If they're not solving a problem, are they using this technology to connect more with their consumers? Like, what are they doing with this? And if the project has none of those answers, they need to go back to the drawing board. You need to sit on your hands and not, spend any money. Because I think a lot of people see projects and like they don't have anything. So they're like, oh, I need to get into this right now. And it's like, nope, sit on your hands. Like, what are you doing? Save your crypto for the next project that you think that actually like is good.
There's always going to be something new coming down the pipe.
You don't need to ape into something.
Right. If you miss something, you miss something.
Yeah, you miss something. And honestly, like if you're buying something, honestly, like mint it. Like it's, I rarely buy something on secondary these days, unless it's like, okay, I'm doing a play. This is like an investment play where I'm like, okay, I believe in this. You know what I mean? So
do you ever buy an NFT because like you want what the utility is? Is that
of course.
about?
Yeah. I mean, I'll ride. So I have a mutant. I sold my original ape. So I have
canceled.
Canceled?
No, I'm joking.
No, I sold. I mean, God, you sell your original from a $600 investment to
I know, it's spectacular.
A big investment close to 100 grand. It's you got to do it for the research, right? So, for the research. I was able to help a lot of family members. It was a really great experience. Anyways, I flipped mutant. So I would like I had my mutant for free because I kept it from then, my dog. And then I would sell it and then I'd buy it back again. But then this one mutant, I just keep it and I'll ride it to zero because I'm keeping it 100% for the utility. I want to see because the mutant is the only, so when we're talking about utility, it's the only like Yuga asset that they'll ever release that has similar utility to the original.
Right. It's
so with that beacon, I can go to the events forever.
Right.
Like I just went to NFT NYC. I watched Lil Baby, Future, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, everyone performed for free drinks, everything. Still from that one, that one investment, right? For free, for life. Same as last year. Went on a yacht with all of my friends. Like again, that's utility. I think that's awesome for me personally. And also the network, the fact that I could build a brand off of it. So definitely I invest now more utility based. And other side has me interested because this would be like the first time that I'm really like investing in like a gaming thing, which I think is like so cool. So like, yeah, I'll look at stuff more for the utility of it. And not about rarity, not really about art anymore. Because I used to be getting one of ones, but I actually stopped, which is bad of me. Because I was making one of ones and then like people would buy my art, I would buy their art. We had this like exchange.
Yeah, of course.
But like I became kind of so just like focused on like collectibles and like utility stuff that I actually lost my way a bit there. Yeah.
You still making art?
No, I'm not, which is kind of crazy. But I mean, I look at like I'm doing more of like the education and business and like marketing and advisories. And I think that there's an art to that as well, like to strategizing, problem solving. I think a lot of people think art is just painting and stuff like that. But art is really problem solving and, creativity, like even on film sets, you have the lighting people and, the gaffers and this and that and directors, that's an art because they're always like solving an issue. So I definitely think that I shifted more of that creative energy to the marketing and to the advisory, but I do play with art. I dabbled into AI art and virtual reality art. I love painting in VR. It's very therapeutic to me, but I haven't like released anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
You still been drawing Jennifer? Jennifer was making these amazing pictures of close up of eyes. You still
So I actually because I was just posting them on Twitter because I'm like, I don't know, I just was like tweeting out what I drew, and someone like reached out to me and they like wanted to buy one of my pieces, and so I sold it to them, and I literally drew I guess I'll show you a picture, but I don't want to post it until like they get it. They live in the UK, so it's kind of like,
oh wow, you sold them the original?
Yeah, I sold them the original.
Cool.
Very, very nice. See, everyone needs to get on Twitter.
And it took me like 9 hours.
Right? Isn't that amazing?
Okay. So like, it's like, I thought maybe it was just like a cartoon. There's Pepe, by the way. And then it's like this beautiful, perfectly drawn eye.
Yeah, it looks like a photograph. Like it's really
literally
good.
looks like a photograph. It's amazing. You're very,
fun.
Very
it's fun it's very therapeutic too, and it takes a lot of patience because you get, sometimes I do get frustrated, like, oh, why can't I, make this look better? And, and then I just have to be patient with myself and take my time. But it's fun. It's a fun
I am
thing.
the worst. I can't I draw pictures of my kids. I'll try and draw like a house, and I'm like so embarrassed by what comes out. My 5-year-old girl, Ivy's a better artist than I am.
Nice.
Something.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I love I've obviously talked about it a lot, but one of my favorite things about getting into NFTs is meeting all these artists. I never knew any artists, and now I'm like friends with dozens and dozens of amazing artists, and love that whole scene. And the Clubhouse brought that.
Oh yeah, it's amazing to have that connection. And I think that that's another thing with artists getting into the space is that it breaks that barrier. It's like now you can connect, like the collector could connect to the artist on such a deeper level, because that's the whole thing that this is about. And it's just like, imagine connecting with like Keith Haring and Basquiat, and Twitter.
Right.
And it's like
rewarding your collectors. Yeah, exactly.
So it's like, this is major. And I really hope a lot of artists like get more into it for the right reasons, and they actually take the time to be like, hey, what is actually happening here? One, royalties, we've never seen that before for art. Picasso sells a painting, he sells the painting, he's never going to see the rest of the money ever, right? So artists can now have that royalties, they can have the connection with the collectors. So it's like there's a lot of amazing things, revolutionary stuff happening for artists. I wish we can get more. And I think what they need to do, because this is what I was doing when I was successful as an artist in the space, is like having that community where you all support each other, like creating that community where like, I would share someone's post, or they would buy my art, or like we would all just like support each other. And then that's how we got to this place. And then we kind of just like, the artists, I think now don't really do that. Like we're seeing, yes, artists, but it's more just like I feel like Web 2 vibes, where they're just like dropping something, and then it's like
they show up when they're dropping it. Yeah,
they show up when they're dropping it, and then they leave it. It's like, okay, like that's not really what I want. I want like more of an experience, like to connect with you and be a part of your journey, invest in your journey, which is something I've been talking about a lot, which is like, a lot of people will be called fans. Like, today, if like you support someone like on Instagram or on TikTok, whatever, it's like, oh my God, these are my fans. I do not want to be called a fan. I want to be called an investor or a collector. I want to be, investing in your journey into this, because I know that's how collectors were. That's what they did for me. Like the collectors that bought my artwork
They invested in you.
invested
Right.
to who I am today. And we still talk. And I'm like, that piece that you bought for $100 bought me my ticket out of this city that I was able to meet this person and now got here and open up my company. You know what I mean? And all of this stuff. And it's like they invested into Michaela's journey. And yes, they got like a piece, I would sell physicals and stuff like that. But it's like they got a piece of literally just like my quote unquote hero's journey. And I hope to reward them, one day with some sick shit, but yeah, it's a really interesting thing to think about. Artists, you need to connect with your collectors and people.
Amazing. Yeah. I just had one more thing that I found really cool that I found in NFT news this week. Universal Studios, the Hollywood Horror Nights in Orlando, they have 8 QR codes at different attractions throughout the park, and you can scan the QR code and collect 8 NFTs for free while you're at Halloween Horror Nights. If you collect all 8, they'll give you a 9th bonus one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
But
really
just
cool.
So like there's signs all over Universal Studios that say, go collect your NFTs.
That's actually amazing. That's pretty mainstream. The only thing that makes me nervous is the QR code.
I know.
I'm like, please stay safe out there. But it's like, that's fantastic. I mean, wow, that's great.
Yeah. That's so crazy to think that like 2 years ago, or even like a year and a half ago, or even a year ago, like, I mean, I definitely didn't think NFTs were going to be mainstream. And when we first got into them, it was like, oh, it's just a small community of people. And now all of a sudden, it feels like everybody knows about NFTs. Like at least they know what they are. Maybe they don't necessarily like them or use them or whatever, collect them, but at least they're aware. Like I feel like everyone's aware of what NFTs are, which is crazy how fast things move in the tech space.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's people out there that hate NFTs. Like,
oh yeah, I know, with a passion.
There's people out there that hate everything.
Right? Yeah.
That's for sure. Anything that's popular is going to have haters. Ticketmaster gives out, for Live Nation, gives out free NFTs for a lot of the concerts. They've given out like a million of them, or even more, maybe like 2 or 3 million. And the band Stray Cats is a K-pop band. And their fans were like super mad, a bunch of them, that they got these free NFTs that they didn't even know about. Like they bought the ticket, they're like, what?
They were mad. People are bizarre.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible.
They don't even have to look at it or use it if you don't want to.
Terrible. Like, oh my God. Why are they mad?
I don't want this.
No. I think tickets as NFTs is brilliant. I mean, like there's so many, I used to go to so many concerts. If I had the tickets from that show as an NFT, like as like a little thing, like, oh my God, I like now just looking back, it's actually hilarious. And maybe we could end kind of with this on my end, but it's like 10 years ago, I went to go see Adventure Club. I don't know if you guys know, but it's like EDM dubstep. And they like listening to their music, seeing them perform, they got me into filmmaking. Now fast forward 10 years now later, yesterday, I got invited by them like to go to their show here in LA. And I was just like, wow, imagine I had like
excuse us. I mean,
that was so cool. It's big, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was so cool because I was like, I can't believe that like, and it's all because like of being in the NFT space that you have like kind of this open network and that like people are comfortable to kind of like reach out and like you have something to connect with people from in every industry over, fashion and music and stuff like that. But yeah, that'd be super cool if I had like the first ticket I ever, went to their show like 10 years ago and then like got a ticket yesterday and then just like had that as a collection with all the shows. Anyways, be great.
That's awesome. I love that. I love how things come full circle,
It's crazy.
That's great. I love when that happens. Okay, I guess any closing thoughts that we want to say? Michael, any last minute things?
No. Should we run down the Crypto Slam top 10? You want me to do that
yes. Yeah, cool. We always run down.
What we do, Michaela, at the end of every episode, go to Crypto Slam. We run down the NFT collection rankings by sales volume over the last 7 days. So like all the different ones it takes from Flow and Solana, puts it all, and we just I'll run it down real quick. Bored Apes is number 1 this week. at 7 million. Ranga is number 2. So Rare is number 3, which has really been killing it. And they signed their deal with the NBA, which we've talked about a couple times now, that So Rare is probably even going to get even stronger. NFL All Day is number 4, which is the highest they've ever been. That's not surprising with the NFL season starting, but NFL All Day. The Mutants, the Punks are 6. Other Deeds is 7. So that's actually 4 out of the top 7 are Yuga collections, if you consider the Punks Yuga. Doodles is 8, and that's on the back of their announcement. ENS is 9. Ranga Black Box is 10. And Gods Unchained is 11.
Hey,
Jennifer.
represent.
Yeah.
For ENS, I saw that 031.eth was sold for 31 ETH. So maybe that's why.
That could be. I mean, they did $2.8 million in sales over the last 7 days. Jeez. Yeah, I saw a few of those triple-digit ones sold in the 20s and 30s the last couple of days. That's wild.
Oh, yeah, they're popping off.
Yeah, they are.
Cool. All right. Well, Michaela, thank you so much for coming on the show. You really brought the energy. We appreciate that. And thanks for also sharing a bit about your story as well. It's always nice getting to know people a little bit better. And yeah, we appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you so much. This has been so fire talking to you guys. I hope to come back again and see like where, it'll feel like 20 years now. Like the next time we talk, if even when we talk on a week later. But I'll see you on the Twitterverse. It's been great. Really, really appreciate you. And thank you so much.
All right. Well, with that said, thank you all so much for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.